The purpose of this section is to understand the care component of everyone here. Is we want to make sure that you can actually grasp the idea of what the care component is, but also execute it within your church and to actually put this on the front burner so that more people can come to know Christ.
Yeah, it's the equipping
Mm-hmm.
of the saints to care to the ROA. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Redemption Church in Belleville, Illinois, has had many care events already, and those care events have been extremely successful. And so, what you're seeing right now are pictures from one of their care events where they were able to pass out some food and where they were able to minister to the community. And so, yeah, we just want to encourage you to do the same.
Eddie, what's another church that you know of personally that has done a care component? And could you tell us some of the things that they have done?
Yeah, absolutely. Cornerstone Church in Savoy, just outside of Champaign, they've done a marvelous job reaching out to their community. And I know that they've gone around several times to their region of accountability, their ROA, blessing the people in that particular area through gospel distribution, through, I believe they've given out some batteries for 9-volt batteries for smoke detectors, and even offered to replace the ones that are in elderly people's homes who live in the ROA. And so there are more opportunities and examples than I just gave. But I tell you what, these churches, Sammy Simmons Church down in Benton, just incredible job going in their ROA and letting people know that they're cared for and loved, and writing notes and writing letters to those particular people. And to my knowledge, we've only had one person in thousands of letters written that said, hey, take my name off the list. Just one person out of thousands. And so it's well received, especially during this time where people are lonely.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things with care is the price is not necessarily what matters.
That's good.
Especially whenever you brought up the 9-volt batteries.
Yeah.
That's just something people don't think about. It's an extra expense sometimes. And just thinking outside of the box and going, how can we really bless the community and show that we care? Is by going that extra mile and thinking through things that might impact people, but they don't know what to do, or maybe they don't have the time to do it. And just saying, hey, we want to help you. We care about you.
Yeah. Simple ways to reach out and let people know that they're cared for.
Yeah.
A note, handwritten note, a battery, just a simple hello, it's good to see you. Those kinds of things can mean a lot to people. Once again, especially in today's day and age where people are isolated and really, I read a statistic just yesterday, Kevin, 30% of people today in America feel lonely most of the time. 30%. And it's something that the church can remedy by letting them know that we care. Let me say a little bit more about this particular component, which is the care component. We want to help you equip your church to reach people in the ROA. And I keep mentioning the ROA for a purpose. The region of accountability is established in order to help you and your church cross new boundaries. If you adopt a particular region of your city, a particular region in your county, or wherever it might be, what it does is it forces your church to cross boundaries in order to pray and then care for those people who live there.
One of the biggest, I would say, takeaways from the region of accountability is understanding what your region is. Whenever you get to the care component, you need to understand them, or else you're going to do something that might not even show that you care at all. Like if you went to a younger people's neighborhood and you tried to build elderly handicap ramps, you're not accomplishing anything. You're just showing that you didn't really care. So understanding that is huge.
Well, the context is understanding your context.
Yeah. So if you don't understand that, like, you really need to study it. And so during this section, you're going to be looking through. You're going to read through this, the care portion, everyone here's notebook.
Yeah.
You're also going to read chapter 3 of the Master Plan of Evangelism.
Yeah, and once again, just to reiterate, we're speaking about knowing who our customer is. Now, obviously, I'm using that as a term. They're not our customers, but you do have to know who you're trying to reach, and then match up the care event or the care activity with that particular region.
Yeah.
And so, one thing may not work, but another activity might. And so that will be up to you to determine that. There are thousands of ideas linked in the book and actually linked in the electronic version. And so you can find them online there. More than you can read in an evening. Opportunities and activities that you can participate in.
So Eddie, walk me through care real quick. I know we're supposed to be praying first, so we walk around, we're praying for them, and then you graduate into this step called care.
Yes.
How does this graduation happen? Is it gradual? Is it fast? Like, explain it to me, how we get from pray and how we jump into care.
Yeah, so really quickly, here's what it looks like. So prayer is going to take, first of all, you create and edit how long each one of these components lasts. Pray, care, share, multiply. You make that determination. But we can suggest a time period. And what we would suggest at IBSA is 2 to 3 months for the prayer component, 2 to 3 for the care, and 2 to 3 for the share, and then however long it takes for the multiplication to take place. And so in the first month of prayer, you're praying. In the second month, you're praying again for those in the ROA and writing a handwritten letter from one home to another home. And then the third month of prayer, of the prayer component, is the church, and your pastor or elders would actually write a letter to everyone in the ROA. And so that leads into the care component. And so let me just read to you on page 20, and I would ask you to follow along. Page 20 of the Everyone Here's workbook. The care component should give every person in the ROA the opportunity to experience Christian care and ministry. The hope is that people who are far from Jesus will be drawn closer to him through the service and actions of his followers, thereby giving us an opportunity to proclaim the gospel. And so we would encourage you to take 3 months for the care component. Let me give you the scriptural foundation for the care component. Mark 16, 15, and 16. And he said to them, "Go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. Whoever believes and is baptized will be saved, and whoever does not believe will be condemned." Romans 1:16. "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first and also to the Greek." Proverbs 11:30. "The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and whoever captures souls is wise." So let me just encourage you, in order to win the right to speak life into someone else, into someone else's life, you actually have to have some kind of connection or relational money in the bank, we'll say. And so we would encourage you to have relational equity, and the way that you win that equity is to actually care for their soul. And so we're gonna encourage you to take 3 months to care for those people, every person in the ROA. Now, they may not allow you to care for them, but you're going to attempt to do so. And so what we're going to ask you to do is take the first month and do a personal care event. That's where you would take all of those families that you are owning, 5 of them, 6 of them, 10 of them, and what we would encourage you to do is to do something that emphasizes that you love them and that you care for them, serve them in some capacity. And then we would ask you to do on the second month of the care component, do the same thing. And then in the third month, which is actually the 6th month overall, because prayer is 1, 2, and 3, care is 4, 5, and 6. And so the 6th month, which is the third month of the care component, would be a corporate event, possibly at your church, possibly off site somewhere, maybe a large barbecue, maybe it's a a parade or some kind of petting zoo where you would invite the entire ROA to come and be a part of a care event where basically the church is serving them and loving on them. And so that's what the care event looks like. You will be able to come up with any event that might fit the context of the people you're trying to reach. And so there are a couple of pictures that we're going to be providing to you and examples, testimonials that are coming right up to maybe give you some ideas.
For the care component, one of the assignments that we have is we want you to develop a project or an event to care for those in your ROA. We also want you to present this idea in a video in class. You're not technically being graded for it. We just want to kind of hear your ideas because, I mean, everybody has great ideas and we'd like to be able to use them possibly even in the future.
Mm.
The other thing we want to do is also engage in a forum discussion from even these ideas and just kind of bounce ideas off of each other to figure out and what are some of the best care ideas that we can have.